Welcome back to Blue Collar Retirement. In this series, we talk about retirement in a way that's simple without complicated language. Today, we're answering one of the biggest questions people ask. How much money do I actually need to retire? It's a simple question, but the answer isn't one simple number. And that's where a lot of confusion starts. You've probably heard numbers thrown around like you need $1 million, 2 million, some online calculator telling you a specific target. The truth is, there is no universal retirement number. The amount you need depends on your lifestyle, your expenses, your health, and income sources, and how long your retirement lasts. Retirement isn't about hitting a specific savings goal, it's about replacing income in a sustainable way. When you are working, you live off a paycheck. In retirement, that paycheck stops. You could have 500,000 and be completely secure. You could have 1.5 million and feel uncertain. Depending on your expenses and income structure, what matters most is whether your income covers your lifestyle. The starting point for retirement planning isn't your savings, it's your spending. What does it actually cost to live the life that you want? Start with the basics. Your housing, whether that's a mortgage, you've got property taxes and maintenance, maybe you're renting. Next is the cell phone. We can't live without them, can we? Then your utilities like electric, gas, water, internet, and your TV service. Hey, we got to eat, so we got to count groceries and everyday essentials. There's insurances, health, home and auto, transportation costs like gasoline, vehicle maintenance, or even replacing a car down the road. Then think beyond just the monthly bills. Healthcare becomes a bigger part of the picture in retirement. You may want to travel or have hobbies that become more important once you have the time to enjoy them. Some people help children or grandchildren financially. And over the course of 20 or 30 years, there will absolutely be unexpected repairs, whether it's a new roof, a furnace, or something you didn't see coming. Retirement spending isn't just about covering today's bills, it's about understanding the full picture of your lifestyle, both the predictable cost and the surprises along the way. Many people assume they'll spend far less in retirement. Sometimes that's true, but often spending just shifts categories. The mortgage may be gone, but healthcare costs might increase. Work related expenses disappear, but travel or hobbies may grow. With not knowing your real expenses, it's impossible to know how much income you need. Next, you look at income sources that are reliable. Social Security is one of the biggest. For many retirees, Social Security covers a significant portion of basic expenses. The age you claim it affects how much you receive. Some people may also have pensions. If you have guaranteed income sources, subtract those from your expected expenses. What's left is what your savings must cover. That gap is a number that matters. This is one of the biggest unknowns. Retirement today can last 20, 25, even 30 years. That means your savings aren't just funding a short break, they're funding a long chapter of your life. The longer retirement lasts, the more important it becomes to balance growth and stability. You need income today, but you also need growth to keep up with inflation. That balancing act affects how much money you truly need. You may have heard of something called the 4% rule. This idea suggests that if you withdraw about 4% of your savings each year, adjusted for inflation, your money has historically lasted around 30 years. So if you need 40,000 per year from savings, you might need roughly $1 million of investments. But this is a guideline, not a guarantee. Markets change, inflation changes, your life changes. The 4% rule is a starting point, not a promise. It's also not guaranteed. For example, how long your funds would last would be significantly different if you retired in 1999 versus 2001. Having a significant decline in market based assets early in retirement can significantly reduce how long those funds will last. One of the biggest retirement expenses people underestimate is healthcare. Even with Medicare, retirees face premiums, deductibles, prescriptions, and possible long term care costs. A serious health event can change financial plans quickly. Unfortunately, many people assume that Medicare will cover all of your medical needs. Long term health costs have minimal coverage under Medicare. For example, a skilled nursing home may cost $10,000 to $14,000 per month, and that cost is not covered by Medicare. That's why your retirement number isn't just about monthly bills. It also includes a cushion for the unexpected, emergencies, home repairs, family needs. These aren't rare events over a 30-year retirement. They are realities. Inflation quietly changes everything. What costs $5,000 per month today may cost much more 15 or 20 years from now. If your income stays flat, but expenses rise, your purchasing power shrinks. That's why retirement planning must include some form of growth, not just stability. It's not about chasing high returns, it's about protecting your standard of living. That plays a major role in how much you need. If you enter retirement with a paid off home and no car payments, your required income may be lower. If you carry a mortgage, credit cards, or loans, your retirement withdrawal numbers rises. Sometimes the smartest retirement move isn't increasing investments, it's reducing debt before you stop working. Taxes don't disappear in retirement if most of your savings are in pre-tax accounts like 401ks, traditional IRAs. Withdrawals will be taxable. That means if you need $60,000 in income, you may need to withdraw more than that to account for the taxes. Taxes affect how far your savings actually stretch. Some states, like Pennsylvania, do not tax retirement income. Understanding the requirements in your state is an important issue. There's also a psychological piece to this question. Some people retire comfortably with modest savings because their expenses are low and their expectations are realistic. Others have substantial savings but feel anxious because they don't understand how the income works. Confidence doesn't come from hitting a random number, it comes from clarity. When you understand how income flows, how expenses are covered, and how long the plan is designed to last, retirement, it feels much more secure, regardless of the total balance. Here's the honest answer. You need enough to cover your essential expenses, maintain your desired lifestyle, handle healthcare, adjust for inflation, prepare for the unexpected, and sustain income for the length of your retirement. For some people, that might mean 600,000. For others, it may mean $1 million dollars or more. The number isn't the goal. Sustainable income is the goal. Another important issue is your current tolerance for taking risk, taking that risk with those important savings. As mentioned earlier, the timing of your retirement and where we are in that investment cycle needs to be considered. The amount of risk that you take on in your retirement account is a personal choice. A simple way to analyze how much risk you should bear in retirement is to use the rule of 100. With the rule of 100, you simply subtract your age from the number 100. The result is a percentage of how much of your retirement savings potentially could lose substantial value in a major market correction. For example, take 100 minus your current age. I'll use the age of 65 for this example. So taking 100 minus 65, the result is 35. This formula would say that you should have only 35% of your retirement savings in risky assets that could lose significant value. Retirement isn't about becoming wealthy, it's about becoming financially stable. It's about knowing your bills are covered, knowing your income is reliable, and knowing your savings are working in a way that supports your lifestyle. The better question isn't what's the magic number, it's my plan. Does my plan support the life I want to live for as long as I live it? Thanks for spending time with us on Blue Collar Retirement. We'll keep you up to date, breaking down the real questions people ask about retirement clearly and practically so you can move forward with confidence.